Hi my angels, welcome back to another video with me. Hate that intro, we are not doing that. Okay. Hi my angels, welcome back to another video. I sincerely do want to apologize. I know that it's kind of been a while since I filmed a video. I just feel like life has kind of just been happening, and I made my last video, which was kind of like an inspiration from how I was feeling, where I feel like I really needed my space. And so I feel like I've just kind of took the last couple of weeks to further dive into that and give myself that time. And I'm trying not to be super hard on myself because I think that is a big message that I put in that video. And so I'm just gonna relay that back to you guys, because yesterday I sat down and I filmed a video and it was a mukbang and it was gonna be so much fun. And I literally probably spent like an hour filming that just in total with prep time, because I also cooked my meal, and all of the footage was just not usable. Honestly, I'm really frustrated about it, but it was out of my control. Well, technically it was in my control and I didn't really figure that out right, but it's okay. We're just not gonna worry about it. So TikTok has been around for a while, and originally I was mostly only really watching TikToks on like the Reels options on Instagram, but as of lately I've actually started going onto the TikTok app and watching a lot more of their videos. And I feel like I would always see memes of like, you know, TikTok taught me this, or I was this old when TikTok taught me this. And I feel like now that I'm actually scrolling down TikTok and watching more of the content that's out there, I definitely find that to be true for myself. I recently just came across this video, which was made by this like psychologist, and she was talking about attachment styles. And basically, like the start of her video, she was like, do you act like, and listed a bunch of different things, this in your relationships? And it made me kind of like stop, and I was like, oh my god, I do. What is this? And so she kind of started to describe each of the different attachment styles, and I was like, oh my god, like I literally have never known about this. I've known about like the 5 different love languages, and I have the book and I've read it, and so I feel like I definitely learned a lot through that. But me learning about the attachment styles and how that's also kind of like another layer to that was really surprising. And I definitely am now one of those people that is like, wow, TikTok really can teach you a lot. And so I actually posted a picture on my Instagram story like, I don't know, a week or so back, and had mentioned like, you know, how important it is to learn about your attachment styles. And one of my friends, Jessica, had actually requested that I do this in a video and kind of just like talk about them, which I thought was a really good idea. Duh, hello. So today I kind of wanted to, you know, shed a little bit of light on the 4 different attachment styles, like let you guys know a little bit about them, so you can kind of think to yourself like, hey, what type of attachment style do I think I have? And so let's go into self-discovery mode. Let's learn a little bit today, and yeah, we'll jump right in. I think that the best place to start for this video would be kind of describing like what attachment styles are, how they are formed, and all of that. So I guess just like a general definition of what an attachment style is the attachment style that you own and that you've grown into is something that you actually learned from your parents. So based off of the way your parents would kind of treat you and your perception of them taking care of you, it kind of molded you to have these different attachment styles. And these attachment styles apply to friendships and to relationships and just the way that you connect to other people. In total, there are 4 different attachment styles. Them being 1, secure attachment, 2, avoidant attachment style, 3, anxious attachment, and then 4, which is fearful avoidant attachment style. And so obviously the first one, secure attachment style, is definitely probably the healthiest one to have and the one that everyone wants to work towards. You know, in me reading a little bit more into this, I did read and discover that just because you do have one of these attachment styles, it doesn't mean that you can't coach yourself and work towards getting to secure attachment. So what is secure attachment style? Secure attachment style is exactly what it sounds like. It means that you typically find yourself feeling very secure in your relationships and in your friendships. And someone who has this type of attachment style is someone who actually grew up with parents who are pretty involved and attentive to their child's needs and emotions. So whenever the baby was crying or the child, was having an emotion or mad about something, the parents would actually, or caretakers would sit down with them and kind of help coach them through that emotion and talk to them through it and help them cope with that emotion, right? And so they were teaching them how to emotionally soothe with their help at that time, but throughout life that kind of gives them that independence because their parents are reassuring them. The important part of this attachment style is that the parents always were reminding the child or the person that they are going to be okay, right? So that helps the child to realize that, okay, if I do have a bad emotion or I am feeling sad or angry or whatever the situation may be, I know that I feel secure because they are reminding me that everything is going to be okay. So that kind of gives you that security and stability in friendships and relationships later in life. So number 2, which is avoidant attachment style, which the name I feel like kind of gives it away, where this person might be very disconnected from their emotions and from their partner and feel really distant from you, right? So someone with this type of attachment style had parents who weren't really emotionally involved in the child's life. So if they noticed that their baby was crying, they might not have went to them right away. Or even through like early childhood, if the child seemed to be upset about something, the parents wouldn't really get involved in that. They just kind of let them deal with the problem on their own. Because of the child being raised in this way, that person feels like they should disconnect and really rely on themselves because no one else really taught them that they could rely on them and that they would be there for them. So one of the markers of this type of attachment style is someone will be very emotionally unavailable. So yeah, that person, guy or girl, might be down to like hang out, have a little fun, whatever the situation is. But when it comes down to the actual like meat and potatoes, I guess, which is that emotional stability in a relationship, that person is not there, nowhere to be found. This person will also have a really big fear of commitment and intimacy. So that is definitely something to look out for. And if you find yourself kind of always in that position where you're afraid to commit and you're afraid to get emotionally intimate with someone, this is likely the attachment style that you have. Third attachment style is called anxious attachment style. And this is actually the attachment style that of the video that kind of like caught my attention and made me kind of like listen, because I was like, oh, I've seen that. Anxious attachment style is exactly what the name kind of infers, where the person who's in the relationship or in the friendship might always be anxious about upsetting their partner or anxious that their partner is going to leave them, always feeling like they need, validation or reassurance that the relationship is, true and that the person actually cares about them. And this attachment style is formed from the caregivers or the parents kind of being very on and off with the child, where sometimes they would be very involved and they would be, seeming like they cared about the child's emotions, helping them through that, and then other times feeling very distant and withdrawn from the child. And this makes the kid kind of feel like there was no real emotional stability in their relationship. And so that kind of makes them in their adult life feel like, one of those clingy boyfriends or girlfriends are always looking for reassurance from their partner and curious, like, oh, does this person really love me in the ways that they say that they do? The last one is going to be a fearful avoidant attachment style. And this one is actually very interesting because it is a combination of both avoidant attachment style and anxious attachment style. And this one, I guess you could generally look at it as someone who wants real, true love and emotional connection with someone so badly, but they are so afraid of it that they will avoid it at all costs. And this attachment style is created by the caregivers or parents of the child, giving them a very unstable environment, and oftentimes it was like abusive or scary. So the child probably had a caregiver who was very emotionally unpredictable, where some days they seem to be okay and approachable, and then other days they would have outbursts and be very scary towards this child and developing person, you know? And so it made that person have, you know, likely a lot of the times this attachment style is related to abusive or traumatizing childhoods and childhood experiences. So fearful avoidant attachment style can really express itself in so many different ways. One of the ways is that this person can have a really confused idea of boundaries and how to create healthy boundaries within their relationships. This person might also generally lack trust in people, whether that's their friends, strangers, or the person that they're in a relationship with. They'll also be really confused on what a healthy relationship looks like because they didn't really have that modeled for them when they were a kid and growing up. Like I said, just because you do have one of these attachment styles, whether that's anxious, avoidant, fearful avoidant, it doesn't mean that you can't work towards having a secure attachment style. I think that with a lot of, you know, introspection, self-reflection, you know, doing a lot of work within yourself and maybe possibly going to therapy or talking to someone, you can definitely climb up this ladder and get to a more secure attachment style. I know for myself, I am not perfect, and I definitely have some of the characteristics and traits that are listed in some of the other attachment styles, but I don't want to dive too deep into my own BS or my own stuff on here, but I just thought it was really important for everyone to kind of have a general understanding of what the attachment styles are and kind of start thinking like, hey, where do I think I am and how can I make myself, you know, get to that place of a more secure attachment style within my friendships and my relationships. So that's really it. I definitely am looking forward to filming another mukbang and hopefully doing it with Geppetto. As you can see, I'm in a new filming location, so I kind of just have to figure out logistically where that's going to be and how I'm going to do that with Geppetto. But yeah, so that's it for today's video. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one. Have a very good weekend, and yeah. Bye! I sincerely hope that I'm in frame. I literally have no idea. I definitely was not in frame. Oh my god. Usually when I have a pasta, I'll definitely eat it in a bowl, but because this is a mukbang and we're sitting here and talking, I feel like I had to do it on a plate just because you can like witness the pasta like slowly going down my throat. And it's gonna be amazing, at least in my opinion. Honestly, I just feel like this is hitting like as if I got this from Olive Garden. Like, I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but I wish you guys could really take a taste of this because I'm freaking living. And I'm really hoping that my eyes aren't like being really creepy and like rolling back as I'm like taking a bite of it, because I'm always really paranoid that that's gonna happen. I'm holding this plate like super high up so that you guys can see it in frame. And it'll be caught on camera, like me rolling my eyes back.